What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Clouded Minds. I'm Tyler.
And I'm Justin.
That's that guy, and today we are also joined by Chris Levi.
Hey.
What is going on, dude? It's freaking Friday, guys. TGIF to everyone. How are you guys doing? Did you guys have a good week?
Doing alright? Yeah.
I had an alright week, you know.
Okay.
If you know, you know. I'm not
right
gonna
back.
say it all here, but yeah.
Gotcha. Nice. Chris Cav Vlogs. What's going on, miss? How are you doing today? Carlos Larry. What's going on, Carlos? Can you guys hear us just fine as well as the actual music as well? Let us know in the chat if you would, please. Yeah. Dude, I hope everybody had a fantastic week. Mimi Geely! What's up, Mimi Geely? How are you doing today, miss? Hope you're having a fantastic day today. Hope everybody is had a fantastic week, is enjoying their Friday evening. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much, Mimi. Extremely appreciate that. How is everybody doing today?
All around the world trying to save your whole. What?
That's right. Sam! What is going on? Young Iggy's in the house. We're dancing.
What's up, guys?
What is going on, my dude? How are you doing today?
I got all this energy. I'm ready to be here.
Nice. Yeah. So did you have a good week? How was your week?
Shit. No, I ain't
that good, huh?
I got all this energy. I'm ready to be here. How was your week? Shit.
No, my week was good. My week was just fine enough for me to. It was fine. That was my week.
It was fine. Everything was okay.
Yeah.
Let's get this fucking Friday started.
Oh man.
Everyone have a blessed day, guess. Dude, nice closet. Yeah.
Wait, who, me?
Yeah, no, I just give you shit. Yeah.
Oh, is my closet dirty?
No.
Oh no, my closet.
RJ! Yay! Miss K! What's going on, Miss K? How are you doing today? Hope you're having a fantastic day today.
What up, gangsters?
What is up? How are you doing today, dude? TGIF to everybody. It is freaking Friday, guys. Thank you so much for joining us here on this Friday evening. We got Justin, Chris, RJ, and Young Igloo in the house, guys. What is going on? How's your Friday been, RJ?
Oh, you know, I just got out of work, doing my thing.
Nice.
No big deal.
Doing my thing. Nice. Well, today's show, guys, if you guys haven't already checked out there at the pin link up at the top, we're going to be talking about all things in 90s, guys. We're pulling out the nostalgia stops. Yeah. So just out of curiosity, how many of you were born up here on the panel before the 90s?
I know you were.
was.
I know you were. I'm a 93 over here, man. So, like, not exactly, and, like, here's the weird thing about the 90s kid thing is that, like, I feel like Ty and, like, Chris, you guys are actual 90s kids, right? Like, you guys were actually old enough to, like, know what was going on in the 90s.
You're talking about Justin, right?
Yeah.
All of you, whatever.
What's the weird word then, weirdo?
It's just, like, me born, like, kind of later on in the 90s, it's like, yeah, I saw some stuff, but, like, I didn't really know what was going on. I wasn't until like
no one knew what really was going on in the 90s.
Well, yes, but like, I'm
not even the adults. They were like, "Fuck it, let it ride."
I'm like a 2000s kid, more honestly.
RJ over here was a fucking 90s toddler. Me, I was like a 90s baby.
90s baby.
You know, like by the time, you know, 98. I mean, I'm like 5 years old. Like I don't know what the hell's going on with anything.
And again, no one else did either.
Yeah, that is very true. 1984. Dude, I'm 1985. Roowzer. What's going on, Roowzer? How are you doing today? Hope you have a fantastic day today. So, kicking it off, that's right. Well, most of you are not born in the, you were born in the 90s versus me and Justin born in the 80s.
Yeah.
So, take that, suckers. Respect your elders. No, I'm just kidding. Fuck your face. No,
screw you, old man.
Suck my dick.
Whoa! Wow, that escalated quickly, people. Quickly. Meow. That's right. Yo. The PGG. What's going on, PGG? How are you doing today? All right, so let's kick it off. We're talking about all things 90s today, guys. Let's kick it off with, let's do music. What was everybody's favorite? What's your guys', what do you guys reminisce from the 90s as far as music goes? I mean, like Nirvana and just a lot of bands come to mind.
Again, like, I heard this stuff well after the fact. I was not there for it. You know what I mean? Like, you guys were there for it, which I'm sure was awesome. But
dude, I remember when MTV and VH1 was like
you remember when they
thing.
changed like baseball prices from like $0.25 to like $3? Like,
no. Like, it's also like, remember when the economy was good in the 90s? No, I don't remember that either.
No, we were babies, yeah.
I don't.
No, my mom...
Is that TJ?
Hey, TJ.
What about it?
Oh, my mom, no. So I don't know much about 90s music, per se, but I know my mom was a teenager in the 90s, so every time when I would, like, hang out with my mom, she'd always be blasting music from the 90s, you know? But it's usually like maybe it's like straight out Compton, you know, Ice Cube, Snoop Dogg, because she was like a teen. Yeah, because she was really into that whole thing, even though she was white in the 90s. But that was the whole thing back then.
Well, here's the thing. Like, I was also like this. I think the 90s is when white people jumped on rap and hip hop hard. Like, you guys love that shit. I feel like you guys loved it more than black people did, which was really fun to watch.
Yeah, no. Well, there's some generally good music in the 90s that I felt like.
Yeah.
Dude, I remember...
Go ahead, Doc.
Oh, I was going to say, I remember, like, VH1 and MTV. Like, so when MTV had the TRL, you know, the daily, they would do, like, the top 10, the freaking top 10
like
with Carson Daily. Yeah, Total Request Live, and it was, like, Carson Daily. It was way newer. It started in like 91, 92 or something like that. But it was
I remember that.
It was huge for like Backstreet Boys, Britney Spears, NSYNC, like all of those guys.
Yeah,
freaking
all the boy bands, all
the girl bands, boy bands.
It kept on. Into 2000s had it too. Like, it was like the music versions of like E, you know, the E channel, you know, E Entertainment Live or whatever on whatever.
Entertainment.
It was like the music version of that. Where they kind of just, if you want to just know everything music related, pop culture related, like that was it. That's where you went if you wanted that specific news. I remember that. We had that too. Like that stayed around until the 2000s. I remember. Well, but I wonder how it was in the 90s. I'm sure the 90s one. I'm sure the 90s version was way more edgier.
Dude, the 90s version was way better. Like, even before. I mean, that's when wasn't that song the radio killed the. Or the
video killed the radio star?
Yeah, that was like the first one to come up on.
Yeah, that was like almost the
like
first
MTV
music video.
Yeah, that was.
That was Cyndi Lauper, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Boogles?
The Boogles.
In 1980.
Anyways, yeah, no, it was the first music video though that came out. It was pretty awesome.
Wait, yeah, it was
Frog Shadow
played on MTV, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's pretty interesting. Duran, yeah, no, Duran.
Oh my gosh, Duran, I fucking hate Duran. I hate fucking Duran so much.
Don't you be talking crap about the 80s.
I'm not a big fan of new wave at all. I don't like new wave music at all in the slightest. So yeah, Duran.
What's one band that you guys listen to that's from the 90s that's still around? Do you guys listen to anybody?
Technically Eminem.
Technically you can say Eminem.
His first album was in 99.
Yeah.
Technically Eminem. He just made it.
Yeah,
he just makes the cutoff.
I don't listen to her now, but Britney Spears is still around. Like she's still making music,
still like.
which I thought
Is she
which
still
is very
making music?
surprising.
I mean, I know she's still relevant. Kind of.
I think she came. I think she came back recently. From what I've heard.
I've heard her music. Her like last couple albums haven't been great though. Or have they?
I think they've been more clubby type stuff. They're more like go dance.
Yeah.
Well, that was actual music, like actual music.
I think that's what became Britney Spears become very popular. Was that you would hear her in the clubs most often than not. It was very party music back then. Man,
could you imagine where she would be or how her life would have been if that like the shaving and all that crazy shit and Kevin Federline never happened to her? Can you just imagine how her career trajectory would have been if that shit never happened?
She'd be boring because that's the best parts about her.
She'd be boring.
Unfortunately. I mean, that's a dark way to look at it, but can you just imagine? Like, she was on top of the world before that shit happened. And then she was just off that deep end and never came back.
Completely shaved. I did that one time.
Nuts.
That was shave or go off the rails? You said
classic 90s.
I did both. I shaved and went off the rails.
I shaved and then went off the rails.
No, I decided to one day I'm just gonna shave my fucking head, and I just did that, and I was like, wow, this is me. Wonder with the shaved head.
Nice.
That was me. No, my favorite band. My favorite band probably in the 90s was like the Vega Boys.
Oh, I remember. So I was from California, so I remember the Vega Boys did the Vega Bus is Coming or something like that. What's that bus song that they sing?
The one from like Six Flags.
Yeah, it's the Six Flags song.
I like the Boom 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 song.
Oh, Boom Boom. Okay.
Because my mom would play that all the time in the car.
I was just trying to rack my brain of like other 90s, anything that's still like relevant. And Foo Fighters, they're still kicking.
Yeah, the Foo Fighters. They're still kicking.
They never stop, man. They just came out with like a parody album where it's like old disco, or they're
they did.
Their covers.
They covered the Bee Gees.
Yeah, they did. But they didn't cover "Staying Alive." Like, come on.
There's probably a reason for that though.
But they cover like two or
Somebody
three
might
of their
own the
songs.
rights.
Two or three of their other songs, except for that one. It's like, man.
There's bands like Green Day and Weezer that are still relevant.
Oh yeah, Weezer and Green Day are still kicking.
They were just on tour together.
Yeah, I heard about that. You're right. That's another one. Yeah, I feel like they never die. Like, they're just.
Weezer's been around forever.
Weezer just doesn't want to stop, man.
Keep it going.
Bowling.
I guess technically Will Smith is still around.
Well, as a person, not as an artist, though.
As an artist,
he hasn't been
not as an artist.
Well, that's not true. He did one song with his song on stage.
Did they?
Oh, he did also do the Men in Black. Well, that was the 90s, right?
Yeah, that was 90s, bro.
No.
90s.
I specifically remember him and his son did like a stage song on Coachella, like a duet almost. Somewhere at Coachella. I'm not sure what song it was. Yeah. It was him and a song, Jaden Smith. They did that.
Yeah, I can't.
Dude, one of my favorite band of the 90s was the Cranberries. I
heard about them. They had Zombie, right? That was
Zombie.
Didn't she pass away a couple years ago?
She did very soon.
Yeah, heard about that. I didn't know the band.
Zombie.
What's funny is that Eminem actually sampled that chorus in one of his other songs. It's like a recent song, and I had never heard of Zombie before, so I was like, "Oh, it's kind of cool." And then I downloaded Zombie, and I was like, "Whoa, what? That's where this came from?"
Wow.
That's always fun when you like hear a sample first and no one else's song. You find out where it comes from, and you're like, "Holy crap!" You had no idea it came from another song.
That actually, speaking of Eminem and that, remember when he did the collab in the late '90s, early 2000s? I can't remember the chick's name, but it was that Stan song.
Yeah, Dido, I think her name was.
Yeah, Dido.
Dido or
that
Dido or
chick.
something like that. Yeah.
Dido, that sounds right. But her. That's how I actually learned about her, was through that song.
Yeah, and then I heard that song, like the full thing. I was like, man, it is. The perfect word I think for that song is melancholy. That's like it's such a melancholy type of song. Man,
Yes, indeed.
it's chill, but also like dark or like sad in a way. You know, like it's like
Subnova.
Subnova, what's going on, Sniper guy?
what up, Sub? What up, Blood? What up, Blood?
Shut your
Young, that's a dope shirt.
What do we got? What is it? Oh, the Pac-Man? Nice.
Yeah, it's like a Pac-Man shirt. It's dope. Why are you covering it? Don't cover that beautiful shirt.
It's cold.
Dude, Destiny's Child. I guess. Well, technically Destiny's Child, but but the lead singer technically is.
Oh,
still...
they're all around still, but as a group, no, those days are long gone. But they were on top of the world. My mom, oh jeez, all the time hearing that in the car, just whether I like it or not.
Ooh, yes, TLC. Jason Waterfall.
Yeah.
That was a good one. Ooh, Chubbawamba.
Chubbawamba, tub thumping.
That was a great song. Dude, that was a classic. What about the Macarena? Dude, everybody knows the freaking Macarena. That was massive. That was huge.
We had to learn how to play Macarena in school.
I was not like alive when that first hit, but like it was so crazy. It stayed like insanely popular when I got older. You know, like that's the power of that song.
Yeah.
Like it just kept going.
I remember I was like 8, 9 years old with my brother who's 5 years old going to the skating ring and hearing that song.
Skating rinks.
Yes.
I feel like that song was made for skating rinks.
They'd go right play that song like the little DJ that was there to play the songs, and then everybody start getting into it, and then I was like,
yeah, that song's perfect for the skating rink. Like no joke.
Well, honestly, to tell you the truth, all the songs from the '90s ended up as skating rink songs. Let's be honest.
That's probably true.
Where do you find the '90s anymore? Like, well, if skating rinks still exists, honestly, at this
I
point.
actually have one still in my city. I have one in my city.
Soundgarden.
Dude, Savage Garden. Remember Savage Garden?
Garden.
Actually, Christina Aguilera is technically still around.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she's still kicking it. She's still looking great too.
Allison.
She's still.
Oh, Mariah Carey too. Mariah Carey's still around.
Oh gosh, Mariah Carey.
Can't forget about her.
Sub Luda. I don't think he makes any music anymore though. But yeah, he's still relevant.
He's still active because
he's still relevant in other ways.
Ludacris.
Yeah, Nine Inch Nails and Nin. Yeah.
No doubt.
Alanis Morissette.
LL Cool J. Yo, LA Cool, dude.
Cool
Back
J.
in the 90s, there was no joke. He was real in the 90s.
Yeah, no, he was legit.
I don't
LL
think
Cool
he
J
makes
was on top of the world
yeah.
though. Back in the 90s.
I don't think he makes music anymore, but back in the 90s, he did make some music. Mark
He did.
Wahlberg.
Oh,
Mark Wahlberg.
Mark Wahlberg.
Marky Mark. And his brothers from New Kids on the Block.
New Kids on the
Yeah.
Block.
I think they all were from New Kids on the Block.
Yeah, I think that was the full group. Was it Marky Mark? Was it?
No,
Marky
his
Mark and the
brother
Funky-
Mark wasn't from it, but I think his other brothers were.
I think it was his
Marky Mark
brother,
and the Funky
yeah.
Bunch or something like
The
that.
Funky
Marky
Bunch.
Mark and the Funky Bunch, yeah.
Yeah. That's what I thought it was. Mhm.
Yep, Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Oh, yeah,
Simple
Oasis.
Pilots.
Oh,
Jesus,
Red Hot
Roowzer.
Chili Peppers. Red Hot. They're still kicking. They're still making music.
Yeah, they're still
yeah.
making music.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say kicking would be the term, but yeah,
Maybe
they're
not.
still
They're
there.
still- Okay,
they're all
okay,
dead.
yeah.
It's more of like
They're all
a
dead.
small flail.
Yeah, it's like
small
little.
flail.
Yeah. I think probably their last good album was Stadium Arcadium. Was probably
Yeah.
their last big one. Yeah.
Is that Californication? Is that?
No, that was '99 actually.
That was 99, 2000.
I like that.
Stadium
album.
Arcadium was 2006.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But yeah, no, Aerosmith though. Aerosmith, his 70s they started, 80s they came back, 90s they kept going, and even in the 2000s they had a little stint. Like
Dude, Aerosmith with
Aerosmith figured it out, man. They figured it out.
Yeah, because they came back in the 80s with the Run DMC, and then they got big in the 90s.
And then they got even bigger in the 90s.
Walk
It was like
this way.
yes, damn.
Walk this way.
Yeah. Aerosmith, man, they figured it
Going
out.
80s, everybody.
I don't know how they
We're,
did it.
Moving to the 80s here.
No, it's still the 90s. It's still relevant.
Yep.
Sam,
Two of my
Iggy
favorite
Pop.
bands
Sam, what are
started
you
in the
doing?
90s but they were bigger in the early 2000s.
Sam, what are you
That's Blink 182, and I can't think of the other one right
This
now.
Wait,
isn't
Blink?
props night,
Yeah.
Sam.
Yeah,
started
Alicia
in
Blink?
Silverstone. I
They
did.
started
in
in the mid 90s.
Did they? They're that old?
Are you,
Yeah,
are you,
so did,
are you setting up a
did
green
they-
screen? What's happening back
Did they
there?
did they
This isn't
actually
prop
No,
night.
Don't worry
Yeah, they
about it.
released
Don't
an
worry
album.
about it.
Yeah.
Did they actually
Don't worry
sound like
about
emo?
That
at the
little
time?
guy,
Or that-
don't worry about that little
or was it
guy.
like
I'm not
different?
sure how they, it's been a while since I heard this stuff, but yeah, they started.
Because you know, like sometimes when you like listen to the first stuff, you know, it's way different sounding than you know.
What's his name? The drummer. They had a different drummer back then though.
Oh, because the funny thing actually, I know no one's gonna like this, but Nickelback started actually in the mid '90s. They started the mid '90s as a grunge band. They were super grungy, and then they got to their 2000s like kind of moody whatever shit. But
green screen.
Whoa. Okay.
Mad Max, what's going on, Mad Max?
What's going on, Mad Max?
Yo, Rage Against the Machine. Fuck yeah, Prog.
That was big in the
Fuck
90s.
yeah, dude. They stayed in the 90s. They stayed in Rage stayed in the 90s. They didn't go past.
I know they were in the 90s because my mom went and saw a YouTube show in Rage Against the Machine.
Go ahead and
opening up.
Nice.
Dude, oh my gosh, dude, I love Rage. I listen to Rage like regularly still. They're so good.
It is. It reminds me of Nickelodeon. You have like the Nickelodeon.
Calm like a bomb.
Background.
Oh man.
It reminds me of like
Nick.
Saved by the Bell.
Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah, Saved by the Bell. Yes.
Should that be a transition into 90s shows, Ty?
Yeah, let's do it. And so let's move on from 90s music into 90s television. What are like some movies or
I don't
shows
even
you
know.
guys
I don't know if like any of the cartoons I watched actually started in the 90s, or if they just started, or they were like maybe late 90s and then got bigger in the 2000s.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Dude, Saved by the Bell was definitely one of remember Seventh Heaven or Buffy the Vampire Slayer?
Dude, my mom fucking loves Buffy. Like to the like
I was obsessed with Buffy.
She had this thing where like if you talked about Buffy, she would go Buffy. It's like that was like her calling card for
Biker Mice from Mars. Hell yeah, Subnova.
Oh yes, Biker Mice from dude. That was like that's old school. Getting old school on us.
Yeah, I mean,
I got the DVD collection of Street Sharks. What's up?
The one thing I found out was like if you wanted like adult dramas or like just older people dramas, they weren't there back in the 90s. They weren't there in the 90s as like prevalent as they are now, right? Now it's just a smorgasbord, but back then there wasn't that much. So like that's why like people like Ty and like my mom like love Buffy and like my mom loved Charmed and shit like that because
Dawson's Creek.
There wasn't much else. There wasn't a whole lot else. If you wanted, unless you wanted like kind of more sitcoms.
Well, there was no thing that was what we have today, where with the Netflix and the Amazon, where you can just click something on. Like it was the prime time. You know, there was like the
you had to be prime time
slots.
Yeah,
that was.
Like, you had to hit. TiVo didn't exist yet.
Yeah, and not even TiVo existed. You couldn't even record it.
When you wanted to watch something that you weren't going to be home for, you had to set a timer on your VCR and hope to God that it worked.
Old school.
You had to go out and buy a cassette tape.
Man, in the 90s, I remember in the 90s going to having Blockbusters. Hey, you want to go rent a video game movie? Go to Blockbusters.
Yes.
You also had to do that with cassette tapes. If you wanted to like, instead of buying CDs or buying the cassette of the full album, you can just put a blank one in and then have to record at the right time and hopefully you get the full thing. But then like sometimes like they would add the commercials to the end or beginning. That's like part of the song and like
Quantum Leap.
Like as a kid, I didn't realize that, so I thought the song was like the commercials were part of the song growing up. Like this is how I always heard it. Oh, good times.
So you had to take one of these guys.
Xena Warrior Princess, I've seen that before.
You still have yours? Guys, damn.
Of course he does. We're talking about Justin.
I still have like home videos that we recorded on like a Handycam and shit.
Oh goodness.
And now see, this one's a 4-head hi-fi.
No, by General Mills. Oh my God, by General Mills. When General Mills were in the electronic
it's General Electric, my man. What are you talking about?
Oh,
that's General Mills.
General Mills is a cereal company,
cereal people in the electronics back in the day.
Whatever, I was half right.
X-Files.
I was half right.
You got your remote control.
That thing is so big.
Oh my gosh, man.
How much the thing weigh? Like 3 pounds?
Actually, it's not that heavy.
I know. I'm just joking with you. Yo, Power Rangers.
Looks like it would be a little bit heavier though.
I actually ended up watching like the entire season of Power Rangers while waiting to go to school every morning. I ended up watching an entire season that way because they would play it before I went to go to school. It was awesome. I was like, awesome! I could see a whole season
before the bus came or whatever.
I actually got to see a full season of a show.
Man,
Deep
it's from the
Space
Power Rangers. You
Nine.
remember back in the 90s they had Saturday morning cartoons. They don't do that no more.
Sopranos. I think the Sopranos
Yeah, the
started
Saturday
in
morning.
2001.
Yeah.
Remember
Dude,
getting
Home
up Saturday morning?
Improvement though with Tim the Toolman Taylor, I used to love.
Tim
it.
Allen.
I,
Harry did that.
yeah, the dog, the bark.
What? You have your mic on mute, Sam.
He's on mute. He's gonna mute.
Ren and
Okay,
Stimpy.
Beavis and Butthead.
Oh yeah.
Beavis and Butthead.
Beavis and Butthead.
Yes.
Yep.
The best.
Beavis and Butthead literally shaped an entire culture of
Yes.
like 90s kids. Like I wasn't part of that like at all because I was it was after me.
Yep,
But,
Simpsons.
man.
That
That-
makes me think
that-
of Simpsons was in the 90s.
Dude, we're gonna score.
The Sopranos started in 1999,
Yeah,
so it was
score.
quite
Yeah.
right at the very end.
Beavis, you
Oh,
dumbass.
dude, did anybody ever see Daria?
What,
Dude,
lunch?
So you remember
Yeah,
the show
that was on
Daria?
MTV, wasn't it?
That was
Yeah.
a spin-off
I
of
think
Beavis and Butthead.
I think
Yes,
I know
it was.
Yeah.
I didn't like that
Yeah,
one.
Six Edward.
Also, it started, I think, in the late 90s.
So
So
is-
is Beavis and Butthead was King of the Hill.
King of the Hill, yeah.
Yeah,
King of the Hill. King
You
of the
remember
Hill
the
was
guy
great.
that they messed with in the yard next door? That was actually the character for Hank Hill.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
It was
Yeah.
the
I
guys in
remember
which
Mad
they were
TV.
whacking in the camper.
Yo, I know Mad TV, but I've never seen anything. I've always saw the magazines. Those Mad magazines,
Yeah.
or whatever.
Oh,
Well, they
But
used
I
to do
never
remember the
saw the
Garbage
show.
Pail
You
Kids?
never saw the
The
guy
Garbage
that's like,
Pail
look what
Kids.
I can do.
No, never saw the show ever.
those were old as fuck.
Are you
Never
afraid
saw.
of
I
dark?
don't know nothing
I've seen
about
like
it.
maybe 2 episodes of that.
Yeah, never seen it.
Yeah.
They're really rare
okay.
now, but they're not the great. They're not the best.
They're not.
You
they're-
know-
they're- one might say they're not good at all.
Oh, they didn't age well.
no.
I mean, they didn't age well. They didn't play well at the time either.
Yeah.
So definitely of its
Yes.
time. Let's just
Ooh,
say that.
Baywatch.
It was
Yes,
definitely
Baywatch was
past its
Oh
time
God.
and before its time.
Classic
at the same
Hasselhoff.
time.
What was I gonna say? I don't know if this was in the '90s, but you remember a show called Crank Yankers? I think
Yes.
it was on MTV.
Oh, I'm going to Hawaii.
God,
Yes.
I'm being the fool.
Yeah, it was Comedy Central. Yeah,
Oh, Comedy Central.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
Me
a
and
good
Travis
one.
used to watch that as kids, like at his
it
house.
was like
all
the
time.
Muppets were making freaking prank calls to all these
Yeah.
people.
Yeah,
Was
basically.
that '90s or was that 2000s?
I think that
I
was
think
2000s.
I think that was early
Okay.
2000s.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Either way,
Goosebumps.
that would
I love
never work
Goosebumps.
today.
No.
Unless it was like had to be super toned down, and special ed could not exist.
Comedy Central did like a bunch of really ridiculous ass shit that just wasn't gonna fly to begin with. They
Yeah,
had this show called Con that came out that was about a guy going around pulling cons. And I was
Really?
like, how many episodes do you think this is gonna go? Because after the first season airs, everyone's gonna know what he looks like.
Pretty much, yeah. They'll know oh, you're the con guy. All right,
Yeah,
I'll stay away
yeah.
from you.
It didn't do well. It didn't last very long.
What was that one
Yeah.
show? I think it was on Adult Swim. It was like Happy Tree Time Friends or something like that.
Oh, the creepy, like, freaky.
Yeah, I
We're
think
like-
that's actually the title too.
Where that's and like where like stuffed animals just maimed
Yeah,
each
they-
other.
No,
Yeah,
they were
they
constantly
crap out
killing
of
each
each
other.
other.
Yeah.
I was like, who is
Happy
this
Tree
for?
Friends or something.
Who is this
Yeah, Happy Tree
for?
Friends.
Well, it was on Adult Swim, so it was
I
for
know.
adults that were fucked up.
I mean, super. But like you compare that to everything else on Adult Swim, it's like, how did this get greenlit? Like all it is just them
Yeah.
killing
Did
each
you
other
ever
in the
watch
most
Tom Goes
ridiculous
to the
ways.
Mayor?
No,
It was like
geez.
fucking Tim and
Dr.
Eric's
G.
first show on.
never heard of that.
Yeah.
I've never
Yeah.
heard of that one.
Go check that out.
I'm not
That
gonna.
was fucking weird.
I'm not gonna do that.
You ever watch Tim and
Urkel
Eric's
from
awesome show?
Family
Great
Matters.
job.
Tim and Eric's? Oh, wait, no, I don't think
They're
so.
the guys that do the purple commercials now, the purple mattress commercials.
Oh,
Oh,
jeez.
interesting.
They also did the Old Spice commercials with Terry Crews.
Oh, well, those are awesome. I love those.
I mean, yeah, those were good because you could handle their humor for short bits, but when you give them an entire, like, 30-minute slot, it just turns into madness.
Oh, jeez. Yo, Sabrina. I don't know if that was the 90s, but
Yeah, that wasn't.
that's the
that started in
classic,
the
though. Was it 90s? Are you
Clarissa
sure?
explains
Sabrina,
it all.
dude,
90s. She started
Clarissa
in
explains it all.
in the
Yeah.
early 90s. In the late 90s, she went to Sabrina.
Ferguson.
Yeah. Ferguson.
Oh, man. Yeah. Tiny Toon Adventures. I think I remember that one. That's
Tiny
a deep
Toons.
cut. Yo, anyone
ER.
remember Kablam?
Yeah.
Oh, kablam!
That was my shit. That was the Young knows that was the shit.
I loved Kablam.
Oh my god, that was in stereo.
Oh,
loved
yeah.
it. My favorite
show was the
Kablam
dope.
skit was one with the action figures. I forgot what
Yeah.
it's called. It was
think it
like
was
action
The
fans.
Action Force or
Yeah,
I think it was
whatever.
Action Force.
I think it was a
Stretch
rip off of
Armstrong?
He-Man or something. But
Well, it was like G.I. Joe. It was like a
Or
rip off
okay,
of
maybe
G.I.
G.I.
Joe.
Joe.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
yeah,
It wasn't.
maybe-
It wasn't even that. It was just action figures, just
Yeah.
doing
And
that.
they just talked and stuff, and then there was like
Yeah.
a little
The one,
girl.
like kept diving into the toilet.
Yes,
was
they would jump. They would
amazing.
just dive into the
Yeah.
toilet. Yes. Oh
Scuba
man,
Steve. I think with the Scuba to do a Scuba Steve or something
Scuba-
like that.
Yeah, it was something
oh
like that.
man, I used to love this. Oh my, that was my favorite one. I loved that.
And I remember
Goblin!
on Nickelodeon, the
Yeah, I
kids'
love
version
that.
of SNL that they had was all that.
All that, yeah.
That was basically kids SNL,
Yep.
more
Yep.
or less. That was kids
Hey,
SNL.
speaking
Wait,
of it,
no,
that's
that's-
where those two guys started. Good
Yep.
Burger.
Keenan
Yep,
and
welcome
Kel.
to the Good Burger. Home of the Good Burger.
How can
Take your order.
Wait, you guys just awoke in a
Action
memory.
League now.
You guys just awoke in a memory. The what the hell is it called?
Stinky Diver, Thunder Girl, The Flesh, Meltman,
The Amanda
The
Show.
Chief,
Yeah, I was
Dude,
saying the Amanda
Beetlejuice.
show.
Amanda
I
Bynes
remember-
show. The
Yeah,
The
Amanda
Amanda
Bynes.
Show.
Yes.
Amanda Show.
Yeah, I remember that show. I was like,
Good
this show's
Burger.
kinda weird.
Yeah.
That wasn't really for me. I wasn't really down with that one. But yeah, but I remember that show though.
Good Burger. Keenan
Hodgepodge.
and Kel, yeah.
And
all
then
that.
didn't Amanda's show become like, wasn't that where Drake and Josh got their start? And then they
Yeah.
had their own spin-off?
Yeah.
Okay,
A
cool.
lot of them all had.
Yeah, it's like a
spin-offs
spin-off from a
each other's
spin-off to a
shows.
spin-off.
That's
like, it
usually
just-
how it goes for the Nickelodeon shows. Yeah,
Yeah, like,
it's like you eventually find out that like Angry Beavers was something that was started in another show like 40 episodes back. Like,
Dude, Angry Beavers was the best.
Yeah, no doubt.
Oh,
Dag.
Angry Beavers was the best. That and Ed and Eddie were my favorites.
well, Ed and Eddie was the Cartoon Network.
Ed and Eddie was
Well, I
so
know, but
good.
still a show.
Yeah,
still
yeah,
a
yeah.
show. Yeah, but oh man, those were the
Hey,
tops.
Arnold.
Dexter's Lab.
Dexter's Lab. Everyone loves Dexter's Lab. D-Day. D-Day.
Omelette du fromage.
He's stupid. I really love Dexter's like catchphrase. He's
Yeah.
stupid.
Oh man, Dexter's man. Dexter was no dude. Cartoon Network was on such a string in the late '90s, 2000s, bro. Like
Yeah,
it
well,
was
it was
no
like they
joke.
hired the right fucking animators for.
They had
like
they had it was on a roll, man.
Well, they did this really awesome thing where they tested a bunch of cartoons, like 5-minute segments of all those cartoons, like Cow and Chicken, Dexter's Lab, all that shit was like these 5-minute like little bits, and they like showed them, and they just did really
Yeah, no
well.
doubt.
So they decided to flush them out and make full cartoons out of them.
Yeah,
and it was like, yeah, it was amazing. It was so funny because it was like oh god, that shirt.
that shirt hurts. There's too much nostalgia in it. It hurts my
I
head.
mean, it's almost too much Will Smith because you got him and then the genie right next to him, and it's like, come on, really?
Oh, I see Mario.
You got two roles in the same shirt.
Well, I'm sure at the time that shirt was made, they had no idea.
I don't know. I think they had some idea.
You think they knew?
Dragon Ball
They
Z is
knew.
Dragon Ball Z is kind of part of like the 90s, right? You know.
DBZ, I think, is 90s. Yes, because
Yeah.
I mean, it got started in like the 80s in Japan,
But,
but it,
well,
it
like
got,
DBZ
came over.
though. DBZ,
Well, yeah,
like
Dragon Ball Z.
DBZ,
yeah.
DBZ
Popular.
was 90s.
Yeah.
Dragon Ball, 80s.
Yeah.
Mid 80s.
But
yeah.
didn't that show get like popular in like late 2000s or something?
I don't know.
Or,
I
like
thought it
early
got,
2000s.
It was like
well,
it was when Toonami hit because
Yeah,
it was
Toonami.
Yeah.
Toonami was the like driving
was-
force for it.
for
Yeah.
anime, for anything anime in the West, we had to watch Toonami. We had to
Yeah.
Johnny
wait.
Bravo.
We had to wait
Yeah.
for the anime block to
Chimpa
show
Pets.
up, like late night. Like I think Toonami was before Adult Swim. You know, like
Yeah,
they had
yeah.
Toonami. If you want to watch anime,
And then
wait
like
for Toonami to
they
hit.
did
and-
like
oh,
like
man.
a Toonami Adult Swim kind of hybrid breed for
Yeah.
a while there,
And
and,
then
then it
Adult
just
Swim.
became
Hybrid.
Adult Swim.
Yeah,
Swim.
because then I think by that time anime gotten at least big enough where it could be on its own.
yeah,
But yeah, I'm actually it's funny hearing
Animaniacs.
it's funny hearing about like people like who are
Seinfeld.
huge on anime because they'll like tell you like war stories or like, man, trying to watch anime as a kid back in the day. like you didn't tell nobody that you liked it.
No.
That was not shit you went bragging about.
I like video games, honestly.
Like,
you couldn't talk about
video games when I hit high school was like way more acceptable of a thing. But like anime was like kind of shit that you got made fun of for like years.
Well, for me, growing up in the
you like cartoons?
You still get
in the late '90s and late '90s.
I'm still watching Cartoon Network too, bitch. Get off my nuts.
Late '90s, early 2000s. You couldn't say like just announce to the world
you like Inuyasha, you fucking weirdo.
But yeah, anime though,
Boy.
Inuyasha, like all those, the Cowboy Bebop and all that stuff. Like, no,
are there tentacles in that?
Thanks, Brock Shadow.
You didn't tell nobody.
No.
They show all the little girl tits, you fucking nerd.
You're a perv.
Or they'd be like, "What's this animation? This is weird. Why are their eyes so big?
Why don't their mouths match up with what they're saying?
Yeah,
are those fucking cat boys? You fucking weirdo.
Why does everyone have ears and a tails?
And then they fucking beat the shit out of you.
Yeah, man. It's fun hearing the horror stories because it's like it's so relatable. It's like I know
it's funny.
That pain. I know that pain. I know that pain for video games so well.
Road Rovers.
It's only funny.
I don't remember that one.
If you were the bully, that's the only.
It's only funny if you were the one delivering the pain.
I'm kidding. I was never a bully.
Yo, Old Dogs Go to Heaven. Oh fuck some. Oh,
that's a classic.
But that one, along with Land Before Time.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie, Disney
they
back
made
in
too many of those
Disney
movies.
though,
yeah,
classic
there was like 12 of them.
Disney, like that's Disney was on fire in the 90s. Let's be honest.
They were.
Yeah, The Lion King, fucking. That's all I got.
A Bug's Life.
That's all you got.
A Bug's Life. It came out in 2004.
I know. I'm just kidding.
That's like around the time when they got.
Well, I get Toy Story did come out in the like 99 or 98.
Toy Story came out in 94.
What?
Yeah,
the original Toy Story. Yeah.
I must be thinking of 2 then.
Yeah, 2 came out in like 2000.
2 was like 97 though.
95.
2 was not that long after.
2
I think it was
99. 2 came out
I
in 99.
remember Hercules.
So it was 4 years.
I remember that. Xena. What about Xena the Warrior Princess?
Oh my
gosh.
I
remember that show.
Mm-hmm.
Does anybody remember the old school 90s television series that was Beauty and the Beast? It was legitimately a guy dressed up like the Beast, and then it was an actual woman. But the woman was a cop. Like, she was an actual cop for like a department. And the Beast, like, there was always, whatever storylines they would come up with. But, yeah, it was an old school television show, Beauty and the Beast.
You know what's really fun about, I actually recently looked this up a couple weeks ago.
Stop pitching that idea.
All of the Disney 90s Disney's movies sequels, like the direct to
like the
VHS,
Lion King 2,
Little Mermaid
2,
Aladdin 2, Aladdin 3, Aladdin 75.
There are so many. There were so many. It's like they wanted to dominate that market, and they were just like,
we're gonna dominate the direct to VHS home movie market.
Yeah, like
Disney.
We will dominate the animated sequel.
And then The Land Before Time was like, bitch, please, we got this market cornered.
Yeah,
can I say
pretty much?
Can I say something about Disney real quick? So I think around the 90s, that's when Disney kind of came back. That's when I think the Renaissance of Disney came back.
Disney Renaissance.
Yeah.
I mean,
they called the Renaissance era.
Because like in the 80s and the 70s, it was kind of like it was. I mean, I don't remember many Disney movies that came out in the 80s and 70s. If you guys did, I mean, I don't remember because I'm stupid. But I mean, a lot of the good Disney movies that most people remember now are from the 90s, like Aladdin, Aladdin 2.
Aladdin.
It's going blank.
The Lion King. The Lion King 2.
The Lion King 2.5.
Yo, it was called, I think, 2.5, or no, 1.5. It was called
There was
1.5.
1.5. Yeah.
One
it was
and a half.
There was technically Lion King 1, the Lion King
1.5, but there was
what is
called
it,
1.5.
The Pride or something.
Oh, yeah,
there was
1.5
one,
was
but that was about Timon and
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was.
he was telling how that was the story.
Yeah.
I
No,
saw
man,
that. I was like, how dare you call it 1.5? How dare you make a movie call it 1.5?
Oh, yeah, that was a good movie. You remember Jim Carrey in the 90s? He was big, The Mask.
Oh,
Jim
Yeah.
Carrey.
I was gonna say that.
Jim Carrey
I watched
was
that
super big in the
Cable guy.
90s.
The
Yeah.
fucking The
Yeah, he
Mask I
did.
used
He
to
was
watch on
massive.
VHS like every night. I'd make a little popcorn. Fucking
Jim
sit down.
Carrey
Nuts.
was by
He was
far the
huge in the
biggest
90s.
actor in the 90s. Best comedy actor.
Absolutely.
And not just best comedy actor, but also like the best actor in general, because he starred in like The Man on the Moon and that one other movie about him being depressed and whatnot. But he was a really good actor in the 90s.
Yeah, Ace
I think-
Ventura.
In the
I think
90s,
I think
he
the
was a
best-
good
in the
actor.
90s.
He
I think
kind
the
of
best-
stopped being a good actor
Yeah,
after
I mean,
the 90s.
after the 90s, because I feel like his humor was the perfect space for the 90s. It was
Yeah.
weird,
I mean,
Yeah.
weird, unconventional, dumb, stupid. It worked so well for the 90s, and that's that's kind of why after the 90s, it was like, all right, your time's done.
No,
So,
I think that
You can
Jim
go down.
Carrey even still works today. I mean,
Yeah, no. I think he's
you
great.
know,
Dude,
It's
Captain
like-
Planet.
he's not starring in many comedy movies nowadays. So some of them are. I mean, like Sonic the Hedgehog. I mean, that's kind of like a whatever. But for Jim Carrey to star in like serious roles also and be a great actor in those movies is a testament to the range he has as an actor.
Are you talking
and
about
that's-
Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind?
Yes, that one. That's a
Yeah.
great movie.
wasn't he
I love
also
that
in?
movie.
Wasn't he also in the number 21?
Yeah.
Yes.
I heard that movie wasn't that great though.
Number
I mean, it was
21.
like a weird horror.
I mean, it
flick,
was
so.
it
Yeah.
was really interesting because like everything had to relate back to that number.
It was like
he
some kind of
figured out a
conspiracy
way
thing
to,
that he was
like,
uncovering.
make it-
He was like,
It's
oh,
like
Oh,
everything's 21. The drinking gauge is 21.
X-Man.
It's a
Just
conspiracy.
X-Man though, not the
I've
X-Men.
never seen that one. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yo.
So Nova, we're actually only 1 year apart. Just FYI.
X-Men animated series. Of course, you got to also mention the Batman animated series
Yes.
Spider-Man.
and Spider-Man, Superman. You know, even I
Dude,
think
what about the
wasn't the
X-Men?
wasn't Batman Beyond or Batman Begins, whichever one that was, the animated
Yeah,
series
Beyond.
as well.
Beyond.
Wasn't that also in the 90s too? If not, it had that
It
same
must
style.
have
It was.
been.
I think it was around the Toonami era again. I think.
If it
Wait,
did,
Batman
if it wasn't,
Begins or
Batman
Batman
Beyond.
Beyond?
it had that same
Oh,
art.
yeah,
it had
that
the same art
was
style though.
that was the 90s, I think.
Well, it had the same art style, so that's
Oh,
why.
I
probably
was
why
yeah.
it
last week. Nice. Well, hey, happy birthday, by the way. Late happy
Hello,
birthday,
everybody coming in the
Subnova.
chat.
Oh, happy birthday,
Jason
Sub.
Solo. What's going on? Is that nobody? Nobody.
Yeah, it ran
What's
from
going on?
'99 to 2001.
Oh, I guess
Okay.
technically it's a 90s show.
Yeah, I mean it picked up where the other one ended pretty
Mhm.
much. So,
Mhm.
or at least where they were like, okay, fuck it, we're gonna stop doing this now.
I do kind of wish I was a little bit older for those, because those were, those are heralded up and down. It's like so good animated shows. What I got was Teen Titans, which I
Yeah.
will take as a consolation prize.
Teen,
Yeah,
the
no,
original
that-
Teen
that-
Titans was a
Yeah.
really
Original.
great show.
I will take that as a consolation. That
But-
shit was dope.
And don't get me
That was
wrong, like
great.
the new Teen Titans Go is fun and entertaining, but it's nowhere near as like amazing as the original.
It's
Teen
not.
Titans was.
It's not.
I knew
because
Teen
It's not
Titans
supposed to
going.
be. It's not supposed to be.
No, it's just
Which
supposed
like
to be.
you have
goofy.
you have to understand that to enjoy it,
Yeah.
Because people were super upset, right? Like not our Teen Titans. Like, all right,
Not our
Boomer,
Teen
calm-
Titans.
All right, Boomer, calm down. But
I mean,
like
But it was
it's
like
not
there was so
supposed
much
to be.
drama and like so much like character, and they just
yeah.
took all that away and made it like,
it's just a
oh,
funny
they're just a
little
bunch of
thing.
goofy dumbasses.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Which-
really
For me,
Yeah.
I didn't mind. I don't mind.
I mean, no, it's
the
an
silly
entertaining
humor.
show. I
it's
like
a
it.
fun, silly humor. I was just happy they kept the same voices.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? I'll take it. It has the same voice actor. I'm fine with it.
I'm just upset that it's like
I
it's
can't
all
see
Teen
who's-
Titans Go.
I can't see who's in your picture. I just see the eyeball. Is it you?
I'll tell you. I'll show you later. But
Is that the
let
dude
me
from
say
The
about-
Matrix?
Let me say something
It
about,
just
about
looks
Teen
like
Titans.
it's him.
Let me say something about Teen Titans Go. I do
Dude,
not
the Mighty
mind.
Ducks.
I would not
Yeah.
mind Teen Titans Go, except like you watch Cartoon Network on cable or satellite, and the whole listing from 9 o'clock to 5 p.m. is all Teen Titans Go. It's a marathon every day. And that just
you're just watching. All you do is watch it during the summer, apparently, because that's all they do during the summer is show it for fucking all day.
like there's not that many other shows they have. Like
I had cable for one summer. I'm not gonna lie to you. I had cable for one summer, and I watched the entire stint of Teen Titans Go, and I was done with cable after that.
Dude, Subnova, I actually do remember Mummies Alive.
Yeah.
Does anyone remember Mummies Alive?
Mummies Alive.
Never heard of that one.
Yeah, it's where like these mummies would come alive with the power of this like ring this girl had. No.
Was it not related to the movie?
No, it's an animated. It was an animated show. It was really good.
I have no idea. I've never even heard of it.
Rescue Rangers.
But Third Rock from the Sun, dude, I loved Rescue Rangers. I grew up on that.
Never know that one either. Nope, you're losing me now.
Chip
you're
and
losing
Dale?
me. You're
Chip
losing
and
me.
Dale? You don't know Chip and Dale?
Oh, the little
Rescue
squirrels?
Rangers?
The little squirrels?
Yeah, they're chipmunks.
Oh, whatever.
Squirrels?
Chip,
They're chipmunks.
Chip.
Well, it's like the same. You know,
but anyways, yeah, never saw that. You're losing me.
You're losing me.
You're losing me, man. Remember, I'm only born 93. You're losing me.
I was only born 93.
That guy.
Shit, dude, he lost me an hour ago. What are you talking about?
Wow.
We started 45 minutes ago.
Oh, crap.
Yeah, Chip and Dale's pretty good.
Dancers. Chip and Dale dancers are pretty good.
Oh, yeah?
He didn't finish that sentence.
Oh, yeah? Oh, man.
Cool Daddy TV, what's going on, Cool Daddy? How are you doing today?
Chilled Moon.
Look, dude, I totally remember Legends of the Hidden Temple. That's like
that sounds
old.
cool.
That's it.
That sounds cool,
That
but
was
I've never heard of
such
that
a
one.
great freaking
Yeah,
show.
what?
I've never heard of that. But
That was a
sounds
classic
cool.
Nickelodeon, though. That's like, you know, the slime when they used to do that.
Oh,
Double
that's one of
Dare?
those? That's one of those slime shows?
Well, it wasn't a slime show, but it was along the same, like it was on that lineup. You know, they had like
it was
a
on that
lineup of
lineup, yeah.
shows.
Okay.
But yeah, Legends.
Because I remember those too, and I remember it was like every Nickelodeon show was like one of those kind of like stage shows, you know, and they'd be like, you know, mail this letter to this PO box, and you could be on. I feel like every show did that, and I was like, how do I get on the show? Like, what's a PO box? Like, this being so young, not understanding. I just didn't. I couldn't compute it, but I was like, I want to be on the show.
I just want to be on
Nickelodeon
the
was huge in the
show.
90s.
You know,
a
what was,
supermarket sweepstakes.
Supermarket
Chillplay,
sweeps.
what's up?
God damn.
Dude, you can't just post a picture of your freaking Britney Spears phase and not show us.
What
Oh, it would be similar. It would be similar to that. I remember they used to do the things with like
background.
cereal boxes. They would
Dude,
do the
yes,
cereal
cereal
box
boxes.
Oh yeah.
90s used to be huge about cereal boxes, and you have to collect the little
Send the
back,
stamp.
and then you had to
Send
do
the stamp.
UPCs.
Put
Yeah.
the stamp up there. Oh, man. Dude, remember? Okay, this
Box
is a big.
tops for education.
Yes, box
No,
tops.
not that.
But
I'm
that
talking
too, though.
about back in the 90s, they used to give away stuff on cereal boxes. They still kind of do somewhat, but it's very rare. But that used to be a huge thing for us back in the day, back in the 90s.
gosh.
Yeah, well, that's still a thing now, honestly. Because when I was in elementary school, we would still turn in like box tops, you know, even for like gifts in school. You know, so that's still a thing.
I don't mean to.
You know, go to like a grocery store and like pick up a box of like some cereal and like, oh, there's a box top.
Yeah. The box top is still a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that still exists.
This may not necessarily be a transition.
Straps
but I
Adventures.
remember, on the back of like PS1 titles, if you remove the disc, there was actually a toll line if you wanted to call to get tips and tricks for a particular game. You could call this toll-free number in or and the manuals, they always had like a little thing you could fill out and send for like, I don't know what you would even get, but you can send it in. I don't know, get like a newsletter or something.
I'm trying to think of the stuff I used to get from
Hello?
stuff like that.
I don't know how to start my game. Please help me.
I actually called it once because I was like, I could not get past this part in Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3. I could not understand how to get like this challenge done. So I thought if I called the line, they might be able to help me. But I don't understand how tolls work at the time. So I'm like trying to figure out, okay, can I figure this out? How do I call? And I had to like ask my mom, like, will you get charged if I call? I didn't understand anything. I just wanted to just get that challenge done. Oh man.
You know, speaking
Capcom hit line.
Look at that.
There we go.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's there.
That's old school.
can you call that now?
I mean, probably. It's 900-976-3343.
A 900
Justin,
number?
do me a favor. Justin, do me a favor. Call that number now and tell me what you get.
Make sure you press 1 before all of that.
So speaking of games,
I don't even have my phone.
So speaking of games, you want to transition into 90 games?
Oh wait, can I like bring in a segue real quick about
Beast Wars,
Nickelodeon?
Dude.
What about Nickelodeon?
Yeah, sure.
Okay,
it's a 90s show.
I took a trip to LA, right? Where Nickelodeon's studios is at in Burbank, California, which is like across the mountains from Hollywood. And I stayed in this one hotel, and I swear to God, it was right across from Nickelodeon Studios, where they do all the cartoon shows, all the other shit. And I go there, I'm like, oh, so this is where they make all the cartoons in my childhood. And I look around. It's in the straight ghetto. Like
yeah,
there
you
are.
told us this.
Oh yeah, you told us this, Young.
I did. Oh yeah.
You did. You told us.
There was like
because you were so surprised of how
You're
close it was to the
surprised
ghetto.
about how in the ghetto.
There's
Yeah.
like 5.
Studios was.
There's like 5 homeless people like selling crack to each other.
Oh
I'm like,
my God,
okay,
they're
that's
exchanging the same money and crack just back and forth.
And it's just
How
right
fucking
across
high are you,
from,
homeless people?
just right across from. Oh, there's SpongeBob and Cosmo from Nickelodeon.
Cosmo and Wanda.
Oh, this is a photo. by the way.
Dude, MTV had Celebrity Deathmatch. Do you guys remember Celebrity
I
Deathmatch?
do.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
Marilyn
I do.
Manson was the most.
Yeah.
evil
That
guy in the
was
world.
Good.
That show was almost a little too much.
That
for me
was
at times
amazing.
as well.
I loved it. It was the
Sometimes
most
the-
funniest.
Let's
like,
get it on.
also-
Sometimes
Yeah,
the
let's
door
get it
was
on.
too much.
I want good,
That
clean
works
fight.
nowadays.
I love how they always say I want a good clean fight. And it's like, is there anything?
Yeah, every
but
time.
Everybody's obliterated.
Is there anything but clean?
In Sync versus the Backstreet Boys.
Yeah.
I will say, I feel like Celebrity Deathmatch was kind of like the precursor to what we have now on YouTube. The historical
The
rap
diss-
battles,
the diss
the rap
track.
battles,
Oh,
the rap
rap
battles,
battles?
the
Yes,
history.
yes,
I mean,
Yeah, it's like
I
the, kind of
guess.
like I mean,
if
of
you
course,
want to
yeah,
like,
it's music.
it's like going
fighting,
from
but,
like Gladiator to like rap battles.
I get it, but I'm just saying. Though,
What about
it's a
American
similar-
Gladiator?
It's a similar
speaking
thing.
of Celebrity Deathmatch, that makes me think of Weird Al from the 90s. Weird Al Yankovic.
Weird Al Yankovic.
Dude, was
He's
it Weird
still
Al
around.
huge in the '90s though? Was he like on top of the
Dude,
world in the
Roswell.
'90s?
Yeah, he made a parody of Gangster's Paradise called, I forgot what it was called, but
Amish Paradise.
Yeah, Amish Paradise, right in the mid
We've been
90s.
spending most our lives living in an Amish paradise.
Christy!
Churn
Sister
butter
Christy.
once or twice, living in an Amish paradise. Yeah, it's good. It's lots
We're
of
talking
fun.
about Weird Al? Heck
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's still
in the
making music
90s.
today, actually.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Oh,
it's
he
still
totally
I mean,
is.
As long as there's music, there will always be a chance to do parody
Parodies,
music.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of Weird Al, I actually saw him in concert back in the late 90s, early 2000s when he had done that Star Wars song. Like, that had become super popular.
Long, long time ago, in a galaxy far away. Yeah.
Sing it, Justin. Sing it.
I don't
Sing
know
it.
anything past that because I'm too. I like Don McLean's American Pie too much to memorize the other one.
To memorize it. You're like, I'll memorize the original.
I do have it memorized, so there's that. But yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Good stuff. Well, should we go on to games?
Yes.
Well, did we talk about movies? We already talked about 90s?
Which
Oh,
one do you want
gosh.
to go to, movies or games?
Oh, I forgot.
Oh,
Movies.
90s movies.
Let's talk about 90s movies. Dude, we had so many 90s movies. Edward Scissorhands, The Nightmare Before Christmas, She's All That.
The Mario Brothers movie.
That was
God,
90s?
there was- I thought the Mario's Brother movie was...
I thought that was 80s.
Ooh,
No,
it was
Mario
90s.
Brothers was like
I was
92,
alive when it
93.
came out, so it
Was
was in
it?
the 90s.
Yeah, that's true. It would have had to have been the 90s. 'cause
It
I do
was,
remember
yeah.
that.
All right.
I think it was like close to 91 if I remember.
Yes.
It must be early 90s then.
Well, let
Yeah.
me see.
Dude, 10 things I hate about you.
Tell me it's 91. I swear to God, it is.
The early 90s looks like the 80s. so
93.
Yeah.
93?
93?
Wow,
The year I was
that's
born?
really.
That's upsetting.
Yeah,
That's
I
kinda-
remember seeing it.
The
in
Nanny.
theaters, so
Oh,
yeah,
dude, I
I
love
don't think
that
I was
show.
like 3 years old when it
Fran
came out.
Dresser.
I was
The
told.
Nanny, Clueless.
Yeah.
I was
Clueless
told
was
that
great. That was such a great...
was
Latin
a good
50!
my mom took me to see Jurassic Park. as
Nice.
a baby,
Oh.
baby, and apparently
PG-13.
and apparently, according to her, I was silent the whole movie.
That
According
also
to
came
her.
out in '93.
Wow.
So
Well, I was
you
born
were
in
a
93.
wee
I
baby.
was born, yeah. I was an infant. Taught you're just
Why the hell was your mom going to the movie theater after having
probably
a baby?
because I mean I don't know how soon after.
It was
Like,
Jurassic Park. It was the best
I
I
guess
had to
it's
go
90s.
see.
It really
there
was.
It was
I mean,
fucking dinosaurs, man, on the screen.
for
How am I
first
gonna
time
miss
ever,
that?
I can't
Fuck
miss
that
this
little
shit.
kid.
Fuck him.
Oh, God.
Fuck this baby I have right now. We're gonna see this fucking
Shit.
movie.
I don't know why she just didn't
Whoa.
toss me behind her back. Like I'm watching a
Fucking
movie.
throw you.
I'm watching a movie, baby.
Okay.
Zachy.
Yeah.
They released.
Mommy will be back in a couple hours. You say you hang tight. Here's your baba. All right, hang tight. I'll
Alright.
be back.
All right, Mom. Bye.
They.
All right, Mom. Bye. I'm already speaking.
Later.
Can I talk about the Mars Mother movie for like 1 second again?
What else have
The
you
what?
not already said?
Yeah, how much more can you say about it?
Okay. I'll go. Let me go off topic for like maybe 1 second. I just have to announce something because it came
1
out
second.
yesterday.
Oh yeah, the reboot. Or
Yeah,
whatever
the
you wanna call
reboot.
it.
They were talking about the new cast members who are going to be in the brand new Mario movie, the animated one made by Illumination. Do you guys know about it?
Oh,
Immediately makes
Yes.
more sense.
I forgot it was.
Yeah, it's gonna
animated.
be animated.
I thought it was live
It's
action.
going to be animated. Do you
I
guys
figured
know?
that might be the case.
Do
but it
you
still
guys
sounds
know?
bad.
Do you
Okay, I
guys know
feel
the
better about
cat?
it now.
So they just released the Nintendo Direct just yesterday, where they discuss the casting of the Mario movie.
Some of them make
You
no
guys-
sense. Some of them do make
Yeah.
sense.
Do you
A
guys
lot
know
of-
about?
Yeah, some of them don't.
Charlie Day as Luigi is great.
Yes.
I am
Chris Pratt as
100%.
Mario.
That's weird.
Chris Pratt. Yeah,
that
Chris
to me,
Pratt.
that's weird.
Wait, how I wonder how good his Italian accent
Dude,
is.
out of
Yeah,
all the people they
that's
could have
so
chosen,
weird.
It's a me, a Lord
Taylor.
Star.
Yeah,
Or Star Lord.
Jack Black as Bowser.
that makes sense.
This-
I
Yeah,
like
Jack
that one.
Black.
That one is perfect.
Well, Anna Joy Taylor's gonna be Peach.
I don't know anything about her, so I have nothing
I
to
don't
say.
know.
You
I
don't
have
need to know
nothing.
anything about her.
See, here's the thing,
King
though.
Michael.
I thought that it was live action at first. I forgot it was animated. So I'm looking
Yeah.
at the show. I was like, Chris Pratt is a real
Yeah.
Mario, and like
Made by the
this-
same people that made.
like so. But when I saw
that.
that chick, I was like, that chick looks like Peach. Like that is perfect for Peach. But since it's
I was-
animated, I don't know.
Like,
Well, I have
it-
no idea what she sounds
it-
like. So
The thing is about it, it caught me off guard at first. I was like, Chris Pratt as
The Fifth
Mario.
Element.
I was so
Yeah,
weird.
Fifth
And
Element.
then that one chick for Peach, I'm like, I don't know, but okay. Charlie
I
Day,
don't know her, but okay.
I started laughing my ass off for
Yeah,
him
we-
being
I'm so
playing
happy.
Luigi.
Charlie
I'm
Day's in
like,
this.
I cannot wait. And then they started listing off Jack Black, Keen from Keen and Peele as Toad,
Yes,
That's an
and
interesting
Seth,
one.
and Seth
one's-
Rogen as Donkey Kong.
Yeah,
I was on the floor laughing. I was like, I cannot wait to see this fucking movie.
Keegan as Toad is an interesting one. I don't know how I feel about it.
Hey,
But
why are they casting Donkey Kong in a fucking Mario?
but
movie?
yeah, Seth as Donkey Kong is DK. That's gonna be
so weird.
That's gonna be
Yeah,
weird.
oh,
That's gonna be so weird. So
Hey
weird.
Mario, I just got done smoking this blunt and I threw all these barrels.
Yo, you wanna know what's in these barrels?
Mario, I just turned this barrel into a bong. Wanna hit it?
It was so weird.
Hey Mario, I'm gonna get you a peach.
Yeah, something like that. Maybe Bowser and DK are gonna fight over Peach. Maybe that's why Donkey Kong's in it.
Donkey
Maybe that's
Kong's
what
just
it
gonna
is.
come in and be like, "This isn't my movie, bitch. Out."
I'm
Deuces out,
only,
bye.
I'm only
Stay
slightly,
tuned next time for the Donkey
Yeah.
Kong movie,
I'm only slightly mad that
Starring
it's
Seth
made
Rogen.
by-
starring Seth Rogen.
I'm only really upset by it's being made by Illumination. That's the only reason I'm like, okay, it's made by Illumination. I hope it doesn't suck too bad.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really care about the animation part. I'm sure that'd be great. I'm just confused about some of the casting. That's
It's
just
like half the cast you're like, yay, and the other
it's
half
just
you're like,
so.
mm.
I would. If I do see it, I'm only seeing it for Charlie Day. I'm only seeing it for Charlie Day.
I'm
That's
only
it.
And the
seeing it
actual
for Charlie
voice of
Day.
Mario is gonna
That's
be
it.
in The
That's the
actual
only
voice
reason
of
why I'm
Mario's
seeing
going to
it.
be in the movie, but he's not playing Mario or Luigi or any of the characters he voices. So I'm thinking,
Yeah, the original guy who does voice
Yeah.
Mario
Yeah.
and do
So
a lot
I'm
of other
thinking they didn't
characters will
say
be in the
nothing.
movie.
So maybe he might bring in Waluigi or Wario.
I heard
maybe.
he's gonna have cameos in it though. I heard that original voice actor.
Why doesn't he
is gonna be
cameo
in it.
as Mario?
I
Cameo
want
as the actual guy.
the one thing I
the
want
one
in
guy
this
that
world.
actually does the voice right.
He's going to come in and do it and steal the show and be like,
Like Chris Pratt, get out of here. We need the real one back.
The one
Yes.
thing I want in this world so much
What do you
is
want?
I want Danny DeVito to play Wario. That
Oh!
would
that's
make my
That could be
life.
interesting.
That is
So-
perfect, actually.
I would
Yeah.
just
He already
if I-
sounds like a Wario. He already sounds like Wario normally.
if I die a day later after watching Wario be Danny DeVito, I would be happy. That would complete my life forever.
Forever.
Well, I mean, he'd be dead, so yeah.
Yeah, I'd be like, I have lived a happy life.
It's a little thing that
That's
keeps you
fair
going.
enough.
But that's it. That's the last thing I want to talk about.
That's a little dramatic, but all right.
That
cool.
was the one thing I want to talk about. Let's
Yeah.
move on to the next topic.
So are we done with movies? Are we good with movies?
Does anybody have any? You're all. Nobody
Yo,
has any
actually, let me ask you a
movies?
question, Ty, and maybe anyone else too. I think maybe Justin. Matrix, the first Matrix movie.
Yes.
How big of a deal was that after it dropped? Because I remember I'm 93. Over me. Like I didn't appreciate that till in my 20s, well after the fact. But you were old enough to really probably understand more of it than I did. I know still no one really understands it, but you know what I mean, like the cultural impact it had. Just how big of a deal it was.
Well, Matrix was because
they made a
of
cell
Matrix.
phone because of the movie.
Yeah, they made a cell phone.
That's a pretty big fucking deal.
Yeah, they had the Morpheus phone or Neo phone or something. It legitimately is a phone.
In the movie, they had a phone like you'd click the button and the bottom would
Yeah,
slide
it was like
out,
a little,
and
like
they
a
would
little
talk.
stick.
Okay.
And that wasn't an actual product, and everybody wanted it, so they actually made that phone a phone you could buy to like have.
Really?
Because of that, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
Wow.
it was a pretty big fucking deal.
I know it is. I just want to.
Well, because of the Matrix, that was the reason why we got the whole like how he's able to do the whole fall back thing.
Okay,
like,
yeah, that one I know. That one I know that one. Yes.
Yeah, and then you notice like a bunch of movies started copying that specific style per se, but like that's if it wasn't for that, like we wouldn't have that specific
a bunch of
type.
movies with a slow-mo camera just to do that movie.
Batman
Yeah. Dude, Batman Forever, Armageddon.
But no, it was a really big deal. Like, I mean, I remember the VHS, like, the case was, like, fucking shiny, holographic, like a fucking Pokemon card. Like, it was, like...
Oh, dude, I remember
awesome.
Titanic.
It was so cool.
Like, they knew. Like, even
they
the
knew.
that
Yeah, they
case
knew.
is going to be...
Yeah,
well,
Titanic was big.
You couldn't say the words The Matrix without, like, 15 people
Dude,
being like, oh, man.
I stood
The Matrix?
outside of a Hastings.
Oh, man.
What's up? What you know about The Matrix?
You made it seem like people were just popping out of, like, holes and shit.
Dude.
It's just like...
It'd be like, somebody would come around the fucking corner of the hallway and be like, oh, yeah, man, I just saw you just saw The Matrix?
You look at The Matrix? What? It's like water cooler talk.
Yo, I bet that was water cooler talk. I bet it was.
I do remember that right there.
I bet it was.
I do remember that happening.
The bat suit, it did have nips in the 90s.
Oh.
It did. That is very true. They'd have nibs.
Because, like, for me, and probably for Young, like,
Cristy,
the only thing that, like, really stuck from The Matrix was, the backwards thing. Like, that was, like, pretty much the only thing that stuck the most for us.
Well, for me, exactly, is The Matrix brought up an interesting idea that everyone kind of talks about nowadays, is that we live in a simulation. Like, I don't think anyone ever talked about that beforehand. Like, when that movie came out, people kind of came up with, like, the idea, like, wait, are we living in a simulation?
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
now,
I'm sure it made,
it
made some people, like...
Like,
wait,
now,
real?
now people kind of believe that we do live in a simulation. I mean, especially now, because...
Like, figuratively, yeah. I mean, just the way
for
you go through the
some
motions
people,
and shit, yeah.
And people also kind of crazy. They also think that they live in a simulation because of how the world is now, but...
Or
anyway,
at the very least, kind of like, being a slave to the mind or slave to, like, society or something like that.
It's really...
I mean, the topics they brought out were just I mean, because like it's used in school. Like I think I might have mentioned this before. Like I had watched it for college, for a real like report I had to write. Like it was that like those topics are that abstract and far-reaching that like professors can use it as an example.
It was such a strange movie that made everybody think that people still talk about it today, and it was really. I don't know. I mean, it brought up interesting ideas that what might happen in the future or what is currently happening now. And people talk about it today. So when people see the trailer for a new movie that hasn't come out in like 10 years or so, they're like, yes!
I want to be this. I want to think I'm in a simulation again. Yes.
I want to feel like I'm being lied to by everything and everyone.
I want my life to make sense.
All of Disney.
Everything's a lie again. Yes, that's what I've been waiting for.
The world is a lie.
Yeah.
Yes.
I thought I was starting to believe the truth. Nope, everything's a lie again.
Conspiracy theorists unite.
I gotta use the restroom, guys.
Dude, watch the whole restroom. Oh man, conspiracy theorists are gonna be coming left and right. Like we told you, we've been telling you this for 20 years. For 20 years, we've been preaching this.
Man, Nova's been dropping some dope movies in the chat.
Yeah, he has.
He has.
Independence Day, Deep Impact, Armageddon, Batman Forever, Braveheart.
Yeah, there's a lot of good movies, dude. Braveheart. Braveheart's a super classic. Braveheart is way.
Man, Tom Hanks in the '90s. Forrest Gump.
Castaway.
Oh yeah.
I don't think Castaway was in the 90s.
No, wasn't.
Let's find out.
It might have been 99.
I know that
it was really
2000.
Definitely Forrest Gump.
2000.
Forrest Gump and then Saving Private Ryan was the other 90s.
Castaway is 2000. Actually, the end of 2000, almost 2001.
Gotcha.
Well, anyways, do we want to talk about games or we want to stick with?
No.
Movie? All right.
Yeah. So
what's surprising about when it comes to games? What surprises me, still surprises me sometimes, is that when I look at like SNES games, Super Mario World or anything from that era, I keep forgetting that was early 90s.
Super Mario Brothers is just 1990.
91.
It literally is not that.
It's
it
not
was not that long ago.
Yeah, it's crazy. The jump from the SNES to like the PS1 N64 era is bonkers. Like when you really look at it, because like I'll see games and I'm like, oh, SNES must be from the late 80s, like 94. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
94. Like I just keep thinking that like the 90s was PS1 era. And I'm like, no, that is starts in 96 to the second half of it. And it's like, what the heck? Like I'm just like, wow, it really was fast. Like those jumps were insane. Those technological jumps were nuts.
There was massive jumps.
Yeah, we might have not never had a PS1 if Nintendo and Sony didn't have their little.
Yeah,
that's
true.
Yeah, the skip. Yeah.
They were having some discussions, but that ultimately failed.
They had a prototype, I believe.
Yeah, they had a prototype, I think, with Sony, and then they also Nintendo did one with Panasonic. Cause I saw like a little thing, a disc on the bottom of it.
Yeah. But now we got the N64 and the PS1, so
we came out better anyways. We came out better anyway.
Yeah.
Because what would have happened if they teamed up? They would have been like one giant Nintendo console.
Well, actually, I've seen that console.
One giant Nintendo console.
Yeah.
That console looked like shit. Anyway,
the N60 PS1 console, the ultimate.
The N6 PS1.
I think actually what I could be wrong, but I think Nintendo after that deal with Sony went down, they tried to find someone else because they wanted a disc drive, but no one would work with them for one reason or another. So they had to deal with the cartridges and with the lower bit count. Because I think the PS1 actually has 100 and what kind of bit? How many bits is? I think it's 128. How many 128 bit technically on the PS1?
I think stopped. I think it stopped mem-hattering after like the 64-bit era.
Well, yeah, you think about
it did. But I'm just saying. I think
Square Enix was supposed to release Final Fantasy VII actually on the Nintendo console, but it couldn't work, so it went to PlayStation.
They couldn't do it.
Yeah.
And even the PlayStation still needed 4 discs to do it.
Yeah, I remember that opening it up 4 discs. It was like
I think they said if it was on Nintendo, it would have taken like 32 cartridges to do it.
Subnova.
Or something like that.
Something crazy like that.
Nova over here is posting like all these game titles that came out in the 90s, like Doom,
Street Fighter 2, Halo.
Yeah.
Dude, Final Fantasy VII,
the Hedgehog,
the 90s.
Resident Evil was like GoldenEye was
the whole thing like exploded in the 90s.
Pretty much.
Now it wasn't just
the 90s, regardless of platform, was like the decade where like all of our biggest franchises like either started or like really took off.
Well, yeah, if it didn't take off in the 90s after the video game crash in the late 80s, man, we wouldn't be playing games.
No,
No, the crash was actually in the early 80s. Not the late 80s. Thank goodness.
Well, somewhere in the 80s.
Thank goodness it wasn't late 80s. But
wait, really quickly, are all of you guys? Have you guys all ever heard about this huge like conspiracy? It's not really a conspiracy. It's like actually legitly real. But did you ever hear about the ET cartridge debacle?
Oh
yeah, you ever hear about this?
Yeah, I have.
Dumping them in there.
Can I say something?
Yeah, they dumped them all in, and then literally for years, people
found them.
I watched the documentary. It started as a conspiracy. It started originally the whole.
Oh, I'm sure it did. I'm sure it did.
Can I say something about this real quick though? So I lived in Alamogordo, where they dumped the ET cartridges. So I know where they're at. Yeah, it's weird because that was like big news for us. But
it was big news for us. The only big news for us.
But I mean, eventually we found out that but I mean like this wasn't really a conspiracy. The thing was, it was like they were dumping everything there. You know, it wasn't just ET cartridges, it was like Pac-Man. It was all the other shitty Atari games. I mean, yeah, ET was there, and yeah, it was for sure. Yeah. It was a landfill.
And you really don't see Atari nowadays. You know, wonder why.
No, it happened in my hometown. That's the thing.
That's crazy.
So
that's interesting.
I saw it. I was actually there when they dug up the landfill for that documentary.
That's crazy.
It was cool.
Insanity.
I'm sure. Yeah. I mean,
I was like, oh, there it is. That's nice. And then we went about our business.
I'm kind of glad.
Like, everyone in the town gets a copy.
Yeah, exactly.
You could have done that, and there would still have been millions left over.
Yeah,
no doubt. Yeah,
it's still worthless.
Yeah, dude, I'm so glad. I wasn't around in the '80s for games, like as far as games are concerned, because there was just so much copying and like very differentiation from any other game. Like it's just, oh man, it was a crappy time, honest. I feel bad for some. When I see old ass games, I feel bad for people who had to live through that shit.
What was interesting? Yeah, it was really shitty.
Asteroids.
What was actually interesting about that landfill in particular is that no one was allowed to go there.
Thank you.
No one was
no one was allowed to go near that particular area of the landfill because it was gated off completely. And I still don't know why, honestly.
Well, they were trying to keep it as like a buried secret.
No, it wasn't.
I
don't believe it was meant to be like a buried secret. I believe it was more like a chemical reason. Because right around in that area, there's an Air Force base, so you can't really go there without permission from the city of Alamogordo and the government of that particular Air Force base. Because that was kind of like a neutral zone between them.
Chris Kelly.
So that's kind of interesting thought, but that was like a while ago.
Toads.
But yeah, I was there. That was really cool time for me to see that because that was like a thing I was really interested in. I was like, they got all the ET cartridges, and I was like maybe 15 or 14 when that whole thing happened. I was like, that was really cool.
Dude, Crazy Taxi for the Sega Dreamcast. Dude, who remembers Crazy Taxi on the Sega Dreamcast when that first came out?
Bro, let's just talk about the Dreamcast as just by itself.
Yeah, no, for sure. Go ahead. Did anybody own a Sega Dreamcast first? Who owned it?
I did not.
I only knew people that owned it. I never owned one split myself.
Yeah, I knew one person that had one.
I only played it at the mall. Or just like stores and stuff. And
the like come demo it here.
Yeah. That was it.
I was very young when the Dreamcast came out. I wasn't even born, I don't think, but I was definitely around the time when like Sonic Adventure 1 and 2 had just came out on GameCube, and I played the crap out of those.
So they had I remember on the Sega Dreamcast they had the Madden, if I'm not mistaken. And they would have this little cartridge that was like a screen, and you used to put it into the top of the cartridge, and it was like an extra little, it was an extra little like screen that like showed like your scores, and you could do different things on it.
Oh yeah, it was like
the memory cards or something.
It was like a memory card that would attach to the controllers, and you can take them out, and then there'd be like a little tiny controller for some games.
Holy crap!
They were very
It was very ahead of its time.
Only certain.
It was very ahead of its time, dude.
Yep.
I remember watching a documentary that said if Sega Dreamcast would have actually took off, but they said that because it was so before its time, people didn't realize what a gold mine it actually was, and because Nintendo was such a huge thing at that time, they just destroyed them.
I think
it wasn't even. Yeah, it wasn't even just Nintendo. It was also PS1 they had to compete with as well.
Yeah,
so they were all So
they were late to the game.
Yeah.
I think the Dreamcast might have been the one that actually could connect to the internet. That or the Saturn, one of those two.
I think it was the Sega Saturn.
Had internet capability.
I think it was the Saturn.
They actually figured it out, which is insane given the time. Yeah.
Shit, man! I just watched this thing about how their bottom port on the NES was made so you could hook up a fucking modem to it and connected to the internet on the NES.
What?
They tested in a part of Minnesota, they tested a little town in Minnesota and they gave them the modems to hook up their NESs to the internet.
Wow.
And they were like, "Oh yeah, you can get on there and check your lottery scores and get on the check for the weather and then buy lottery tickets with this $10 a month voucher." It was a whole thing, man. It's crazy. And the FDA got involved because they were like, "It's gambling on a child's device. You can't do that shit."
No, could you imagine just doing that with your friends? I mean, dude, check what I can do.
Legit, somebody got on.
Think about
somebody
this for
hooked
a
an
hot
NES
second.
up to the internet and tweeted on Twitter with
that
an
would
NES.
blow my mind.
You know what? I think that was actually a
mind.
thing. I think that was actually a thing in Japan where you could actually hook up your NES. I mean, it wasn't the NES; it was Super Famicom. But I mean, you could hook that. You could hook that up to a modem, and you can check certain things online.
You could submit your top scores and stuff for games.
Yeah,
which is what it was mainly for, and they were trying to get it because they had 3.5-inch floppy disk drives that were hooking into the Famicons, and then people were taking them and going to these FedEx or not Kinko's type place and faxing their scores.
Do you know how
3.5 discs to Nintendo?
Do you know how far technology would have been if they've allowed that for gaming?
Dude,
it would have been
fucking
all
nuts.
over the place.
That is insane to think that the
NES.
Yeah, you talk about ET
had
earlier,
internet capabilities.
The NES was from '84.
An Atari.
Ooh.
Oh, get that ugly piece of crap out of my
That is my
face.
mom's Atari. She worked.
Out of my face.
That's like a piece of history right there.
That is my mom's Atari when she worked in, I think it was Burbank, California, something like that, at the Atari place right out of high school and made these systems.
She worked at Atari? That was awesome.
Yeah, she worked at Atari, yeah.
Wow.
What'd she do there?
One of the old games.
What did your mom do there?
Television games.
Flip it upside down. I can't see it.
That's combat was tank, Pong, invisible tank, and a jet
fighter.
That.
That's the first one that comes with it.
Look at that.
And then it's got the little Pong.
Awesome.
Nice.
I know the Pong. I know that
That's
one.
badass.
I don't have the PS1, but I do have my original PS1 controllers.
Why do you have the controllers for no console?
The console's in that box. I didn't want to pull that box out.
Oh, okay.
Because I moved last year and we had all the stuff displayed and I had to move it, so I just threw these in a box. But that's old school.
Yeah, I mean, I still have some games, actual disc games that I play on my PS3, but I don't have an actual console.
Man, back in PS1, back when the PS1 came out, you remember getting the memory cards and sticking them in there and saying, "Hey, we'll save our game on there and take it over to my friend's house."
Do you remember how expensive the memory cards were? God damn, those things were expensive.
How about
since we're busting out the museums here?
There it is. There's that square.
There's that square. School.
I remember Travis
I used to load so many discs into that thing.
Travis had the circle one. He had the remodel of that.
The slim or something like that was the.
I don't think they called it that, but that's what we would probably call it today.
You used to blow on the disc.
There's that little square.
Blow it into disc.
And then this is the thing. And if you pull that off, there's a port on the bottom that you can hook up the thing to.
That's exactly where you put it.
Wow.
Interesting.
That's exactly where
they had made this whole device.
That's what she said.
That would just fit right
in
here.
Put it right here.
You just slip it in there. You just slap it Slap it good and in.
I will say, with them old consoles, man, you could toss those things around with no problems.
Man, you really could. Some of them.
How about
You
PC
give it a
games?
slap. You just slap it.
Stop slapping that thing.
Stop it! You're hurting it.
You remember the
Stop
old
it.
Nintendo consoles?
Get
The
some
game
help.
didn't work. You'd blow on the bottom of it. Be like,
Yeah, all
they
you
were-
do blow the crap out of those things.
Yeah,
How about,
I blew many a cartridge hard.
We all did.
Okay, how about we turn away from consoles but go to PC games?
Yo,
In the
I didn't play-
90s.
PC
I didn't
games
play
in the
PC
90s?
I didn't play
90s.
PC games, but I played PC educational games growing up, and those things were fucking dope. All right, anyone play Math
Are we talking
Blasters?
about? Ooh, I think
Yep.
I did actually play Math
With all
Blasters.
that
Yes.
laughing, people know. People know.
Well, there used to be that Schoolhouse Rocks. Remember Schoolhouse Rocks? I mean, that was a big thing.
I remember
back
that,
in the
but I don't
day.
remember doing
It
it.
used to be
Like, I
big
remember
in schools, though.
hearing
like-
about it. But yeah, no,
'Cause he used to-
Math Blasters was the fucking best. And I
forgot
had,
I
Warcraft.
had one thing. I had one
And
other
I
thing
had-
I wanted to bring out here.
is that a Tony Hawk's Ride peripheral?
Oh my gosh, it totally is.
You bought that? Why did
I
you
told
buy
you
that?
I bought it. I told
don't-
you I
I
bought it
don't-
when we talked about
Oh,
this.
I don't remember. I don't remember.
I worked at Toys R Us and it was like $12.
Oh yeah, you said even yeah.
And it was horrible. It was a horrible experience.
And you still kept it.
Oh yeah, fuck yeah, man! I let my kids play with it all the time. and they
That's
love
the
it.
reason I bought the DJ. Does anyone remember like the
DJ
Xbox
Hero?
DJ
Oh my
Hero?
God.
That's why
Fuck
I
that
bought that
shit.
because it was like on clearance. Nobody wanted to buy it. And I'm like, I'm gonna buy two. Like,
I'm gonna buy
'cause it
two,
really-
and
it
I'm
was only
gonna
$20.
not ever use them because this game sucks donkey balls.
It was all right.
And no,
It
it
was
was
aight.
not. No, it was not. I played the demo. It was not.
Jamie, what's going on, Jamie? How are you doing today? Yeah, no, that was what other? Did you guys ever play any PC games? What else? Did you guys ever play WoW? Was anybody World of Warcraft or anything like that?
No.
There used to be Stargate or Star or something. What was that game? Warcraft. Well, I guess that was Warcraft. World of Warcraft.
I actually remember playing Fallout.
Oh, OG Fallout?
Yeah, and I lasted maybe like 10 minutes of it, and I stopped playing it because I was like maybe 6
Yeah, that's not for 6-year-olds.
because I was bad at it.
That game's not
It
for
was. It
6-year-olds.
wasn't like I wasn't like I liked the violence. I was like really bad at the game. I was like, this game's hard.
Yeah, that game is not the same Fallout.
Dude, does
No,
anybody
we
remember
all know.
Mist? Did you guys ever play
Dude,
Mist?
it's getting a remake.
Old
getting a
school Mist.
remake.
Yeah, I actually
Mist?
heard about that. I am
Yeah.
actually pretty excited because
It's
I love
getting a
those kind of
remake
games.
pretty soon.
I feel like
Wow.
Mist is how they designed like Silent Hill because
Really?
they're kind of similar in that aspect of it's
Huh.
kind of
I have
So-
vague memories of like watching my dad play like those type of like point and click games. Not like King's Quest, but like it's like real people, but you have like to move around, like the way that moves the camera around. It's like really
Yeah.
activity and stuff. You're talking to humans and stuff, and they give you dialogue. You make decisions and stuff. I have vague memories seeing those games and thinking it was like uncanny because of the characters are like they look human, but they don't talk human. Like their lips don't move right. It's so weird. I remember having
What
good
about
memories
Quake?
of that.
Did you guys ever play Quake?
Quake? I played
Yeah,
Quake
we
3
played-
Arena a lot in
Quake
high
3.
school in my computer class when we didn't have anything to do.
That was the
All
end
of
of
our
the
computers
90s.
were
I-
networked together, so we would just all play Quake and kill each other.
I'm trying to think here. So I'm not a huge fan
Jamie!
of PC gaming personally, but
Yeah.
my early memories of trying it was one year for Christmas. Oh no, my birthday, because my mom knew I like Tony Hawk and also stream sports games. She got me Tony Spectator 2. I think Matt Hoffman's Pro BMX on PC, and I was like, okay. So I was like, I just tried Tony Spectator 2. First of all, it took goddamn a year and a half to load because my computer sucked. My computer was garbage. And it finally loaded, and I was like, okay, how do I play? And it's like you have to press all these buttons on one side and move with the the arrow keys on the other. I'm like, how the hell are you supposed to do all this? And so I'm starting to play, and I'm like, all right. Like I went through one run, I was like, I'm not doing this ever again. So yeah,
90s, early 2000s. Remember, PC. Speaking of PC game, remember you had to get on the computer and you'd hear, and somebody wanted to use the phone. Heard the noise. Mom, get off the phone and play the game.
yeah. It's even worse.
I'm on
when
the
you can do your
dial-up
computer.
right now.
It's even worse when your computer. when your computer sucks, it's even worse. So like honestly, for me, it was never even worth it to try.
Yeah.
This guy just said he was gonna have sex with you. I gotta kill him.
My mom was on Messenger and all that back in the day when they had AOL Messenger.
Oh yeah.
Oh dude, AOL. That was like old school. Remember when you had to go get the disc, like the actual AOL disc from the freaking store? Does anyone remember that?
I'm too young for that.
Thank God I was born. Thank God I wasn't born in that era.
Well,
that sounds like the dark ages.
Digital age,
honestly, what I had wasn't much better because like my computer was so bad. I never upgraded my computer for a long time growing up. So like even when we had internet, oh gosh, like I was still using that modem shit up in like 2005, 2006, bro. Like I was so behind the times. I was using that dial-up for way too long. Dude. So like you go to AskJeeves.com because that's what that was. That's what that was then.
Ask Jeeves.
Like go get it.
It would take like 5 minutes to load up the page, and I'm like, man.
It's like that fucking that scene in fucking the IT crowd where he's like, oh yeah, I remember 56K. You spend all night looking at porn and still only look at one woman.
Yep. Dude, it was about dark times, young. Those were dark ages. Like nothing loaded up right, man. It was rough. I hated the fact that my school computers were better than
it was dial-up.
I hated that fact.
You literally heard the thing dialing up, just like a fax machine. It was like old school. I remember those days.
Yeah, I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go play my PlayStation. Fuck this.
I remember the days when like you could get on AOL and you could message somebody, and if you messaged them like enough times, that it would cause a surge in their like data, and it would make them boot them off the internet. Like you could legitimately boot somebody off the internet by messaging them too many times in a row.
Just message search them and just be like, just force push them out because of too much data.
Yeah, no. I mean, I would do it too. It was so
data
fun.
Data overload.
Wow.
They would end up like blocking you from like the messenger because you were doing it too much to them, and it was like, come on, man, it was a joke. And then you do it again.
It was a joke, man.
Probably not the 7th time. Not really a joke anymore.
Shame
it's
on
like the
me?
original Russian roulette, but with the chat. You know what I mean?
Oh,
it's like the legit original AOL.
Chat roulette? What do you get on chat roulette for?
No, I'm saying that AOL Messenger was the original chat roulette. Like it legitimately was.
Fucking dude, chat rooms when you like search like a fucking subject and go.
That's all it used to be, was chat rooms. That's it. And then you find somebody, and then all of a sudden you friends that person, and then you're in a separate chat room, and then you're chatting it up, and then it just was weird. It was so weird. Things were so weird back then.
Yeah, I'm glad I.
Look at us now, though. We all have apps, and nobody's got to like dial up, and everything's a computer at our fingertips.
Yeah.
Where are we going to be 10 years from now? Like something else is going to be. I have a feeling that something's going to replace the actual phone. I have a feeling something will replace the phone.
Maybe. We'll have to see.
It's just going to be an implant straight in your ass.
Oh, look what they're already doing. Stuff like that already.
So I'm going to be taking off pretty soon, but I wanted to bring up one little thing. So Somno's been putting up tons of great games from the 90s. And we all remember throughout the 90s, platformers was like the order of the day. And there was a lot of good ones from all consoles. But man, there was a lot of shit. There was a lot of shitty platformers, man. There was one, I forget what it was called, but it was like the Glove. Glover.
Wait,
I think it was.
that sounds familiar.
It's known, but it's not good. It's not a good one. It's like literally a glove with only 3 fingers, I think. And it's a platforming game. You play as a glove, and then like all the commercial brands started creating their own games. Like there's a Chester Cheetah, Chester Cheetah from
Glover
from
is a 1998 platforming video game developed by Interactive Studios and published by Hasbro Interactive for the N64 and Windows.
That one was dog shit.
Yeah,
and then for the PlayStation, 1999.
There's one called Red Spot or the Spot or whatever like that. Which I think was supposed to be for 7-Up. 7-Up brand deal. I mean,
Spot. I totally remember that.
So shit. And there's also one for Chester Cheetah from Cheetos. He has a game.
I don't remember the Cheeto one.
I think it's called Too Cool for something.
Yeah. I remember, speaking of brand,
there's so many shitty
I remember
ones.
when they had, I think it was either one of the bike games or one of the skateboarding games who put the Slim Jim character in there.
Oh, okay. He was in a lot of games, but he was in Dave Mirra's Pro BMX, which that was actually a solid game. But he was a secret character you could unlock, and I remember being like, what is going on?
I remember walking in the room seeing my brother play that. I'm like, what? That's the dude that I saw on the commercial. It's like,
yeah, that's that big.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Dude, does anybody remember one last thing? Does anybody remember going to the movie theaters in the 90s and they used to do the music tops where they would put like Britney Spears and NSYNC and all the music, but it would be like something like Edwards Theaters used to have like their own entertainment brand, but they would put like McDonald's did the same thing. If none of you guys remember this back in the 90s. I remember going to
McDonald's and getting all like the Disney little stuff whenever the movie.
Yeah, well, they used to put the little mini discs that were like 3 tracks or something like that, but it would be like 3 tracks from NSYNC, 3 tracks from Backstreet, Britney. It was like whoever was big at the time.
That sounds cool.
They would pull. It was like a peel off top.
Must have been a West Coast thing.
Top of the.
Do you remember? On the original, on the PlayStation, whenever you get like Nintendo had their magazine, but PlayStation, they came out, they'd give you like the little disc with it, and it'd be a
demo disc.
Yeah,
I had
that big deal.
Dude, demo discs were no joke, man. Demo discs were no joke.
I remember playing Killer Instinct off of a. Killer Instinct was the first, I think, demo I remember pulling out of one of those magazines.
I had one. I don't remember all the games, but I remember I would play it like that was our game we played like at night before bed. Me and my brother and my dad. We would take turns playing a game. I always played Cool Borders 3. That's what I always wanted to play. But my brother wanted to play Medieval. And I didn't understand why, because I thought the game was scary. I didn't understand at the time. It was supposed to be like a parody game, whatever. But like I was a kid. I thought it was scary as hell. And I hated every time
evil in the title,
start.
no.
And it was like it was a skeleton. I was just like, I thought it was supposed to be scary, and I was like, I don't want to see it. But now I'm like, oh, it's not supposed to be a scary game. That was funny. Yeah, demo discs, fucking legit, bro.
Demo discs were crazy. The cheat books, the freaking game cheats.
Oh yeah, cheat code books. No,
yeah, cheat code books used to be massive.
In my library, at my school library in grade school, they actually had cheat code books, and I would always check those out.
Yeah,
I remember those would be my book. Playing like the first 3 GTA, and you'd put those little cheats in to get stuff.
Yeah.
Mortal. There was one from Mortal Kombat Trilogy on the PS1 that I had, and then like it would tell you how to do the fatalities, and I was like, oh, awesome, because I couldn't understand how to do them as a young child. And I finally did a brutality with my brother next to me, and I actually pulled it off. We lost our minds. The fact that we actually got to actually see it, like do it and see instead of like watching like a video of it done. Like I actually did the fucking thing, and I was like,
I did a thing.
This is crazy. Like we were losing it. Oh, youth.
Man, so much has changed since then.
Good times.
So much has changed.
Anyways, I'm gonna have to take off, fellas. I'm gonna go hit the gym.
Have a good one.
I'm gonna do it.
All right.
If you want, I think we're still doing. We're still doing the late night, right?
Oh,
Ty?
I will. We'll chat about that.
Getting invaded, Ty.
Well, we might still be doing. We might still be doing the late night. If so, you'll catch me there with Ty and Jet. If not, I don't know. I'll see you some other time.
All right.
I'll see you guys later. Have a good night, everybody.
All right, man. You too.
Bye.
Yeah.
Toodles, everybody.
I actually got to head off too, you guys.
All right. I think we're probably going to be calling it here in a second. I don't know. What's happening here.
Yes. Mhiee Gaming! What's going on, guys? Thank you so much, RJ, for joining us today. We extremely appreciate that, guys. Yeah, we're going to be wrapping it up. That was everything. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us for the 90s chat. That was really awesome.
Yeah.
We discussed music.
I have been
movies,
up for
TVs, video games.
I've been up
we did
for
some cartoons.
I've been up for a while.
Guys. Yeah, we did it all. Thank you so much, guys. We extremely appreciate you stopping by. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Justin, Young Igloo. Let's do some shout-outs. We had Mhiee Gaming, Subnova, Chilled Moon. We had, let's see, a lot of people up in there. Chris Callie.
Yeah.
Jamie.
The real ghost. It stops here on the thing.
Yes. Okay. Well, if we definitely missed you guys, we extremely appreciate every single one of you.
Thank you so much.
I bypassed it. I extremely apologize. Thanks everyone for joining us with your eye holes. We truly appreciate it a lot. Always remember, you're all legends. Stay awesome. Stay safe. Stay clouded.
Stay clouded, y'all.
And we'll see you guys again soon. Thank you so much. Much love, guys.
I love you all. Bye-bye. Love you.
Please have a wonderful evening.
Yes, enjoy. Exit to your left.
Exit to your left.
The fitness gram pacer test is a multi-Rubik's something.
Is it a multi-aerobic something?
We'll see you guys all again.
Why
soon.
are we
This
going
Sunday
to
we're doing-
Mako?
Yeah, exactly. Like, what's going on here? They're coming right for us. Everyone shoot. All right, we'll see you guys all again Sunday. DVD Sundays. We'll see you there. Bye, everyone. Peace.
Peace.
Bye bye.